So I'm with Liberty Meals on Wheels in Liberty, Missouri, outside of Kansas City. And our the elevator pitch is that we deliver a hot meal to the home of our homebound neighbors in Liberty, Missouri. We deliver the meal Monday through Friday, and we like to say that it's more than just a meal. Along with the nutritious meal, we deliver a friendly face with our volunteers that deliver those meals and a safety check. We get eyes on some of the most vulnerable populations in the city, and our volunteers have been trained and asked to contact staff if they notice anything a little bit off with the volunteer or with the recipients that we deliver to, so we can hopefully avoid any potential declines in their health. We serve the meal over lunchtime. It's prepared at our local hospital here, Liberty Hospital, and each day 15 different volunteers, each day when Monday through Friday, 15 different volunteers. They show up rain or shine to deliver those meals to about 100 different people in Liberty. And all of our recipients also know they can call us with any other needs, not just nutritional. We have a pet program. We do things to try to combat social isolation and loneliness. We do some yard cleanups, and just being in the field that we're in, we're connected to a wide variety of other community resources, other organizations out there in our own community doing important work like we are. So we make a lot of referrals for our recipients too.
What successes are you seeing within your work?
And so when I saw this question, I immediately jumped to some of our funding sources. So we were a private pay program mostly, and we relied on the Older Americans Act funds, Title 3D funds from our local area agency on aging, which ours is called MARC, M-A-R-C, Mid-America Regional Council. Something we've done within the past 2 years, I was able to hire an assistant to help mainly with doing this, and she's proved valuable in many assets of the field, but she's been able to transfer so many people that we had put on our board funding, or it's like locally fundraised dollars. So we do the night at the local pizza ranch or the IHOP, and we would do write local grants, send out mailers just to people in the community, and raise money that we could fund people. But one of the main focuses with this part-time hire was to get people off of that board local funding and move them over to the Older American Act funding that is rightfully theirs. Just when I was a one-woman show and Meals on Wheels is only part of my job here with Liberty Parks and Rec, I didn't have the time to get them on those Older American Act dollars. So we worked really hard on that last year. Because of that, our local AAA was able to increase the amount that we will receive this next contract year. We showed that the need is there, and thankfully there was enough money in that pot to increase the funding amount for next year. And so that's one of our big successes that we've had with the program. Like many programs on the call, I'm sure you saw an increase for demand and services after COVID hit, and we're finding that it didn't go away once people found out how beneficial our program was to them. Word just kept spreading, which is great. We want to help people. The pandemic also put a lot more strain on people's financial resources, and some people, especially older adults, haven't been able to recover or recoup. And so we've been serving more people, and thankfully those Title D3 funds through the Older Americans Act and our local AAA have been there to help us support the increase in people's meals. Another thing we've run into, a lot of seniors are really prideful and they may not want the government handouts. And so trying to in a creative way, remind them that they paid into all of those things if they worked a job and paid their taxes. And that is what we are here to do. Programs like Meals on Wheels, and there's several other programs out there, they're proven to keep adults in their home longer, out of the nursing homes, not spending the government Medicaid, Medicare dollars on, falls and going to the nursing home and in and out of the nursing home. Programs like Meals on Wheels are proven to keep people safer and healthier in their homes, in their communities where they want to be. So really just making sure we take the time to explain all of that in a way that makes sense to the people that we hope to serve.
What would you tell other agencies or other individuals who are looking to do something similar to your work?
So I knew when hiring this part-time person that she would help. Really, what I was mainly worried about in the beginning was keeping those, the level of social relationships I have with all of the recipients. I like to sit and chit chat with them. Once you go from 80 of them to over 100 of them during COVID, we all know we've all been stuck on the phone with someone for maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes too long, but knowing how important it is for them to have someone to talk to. So I was really, I think, thinking of a part-time person in a lot of ways to maintain that open line of communication and make sure they know that they could always call us. And it wasn't until probably a year in of having this part-time person that I looked back at all the people she had moved from board funding, the local fundraised dollars, to the governmental Title III D funded dollars, and put the numbers to paper of how much money she saved the board by adding no new people to that funding and moving people off of the funding that she's paying for herself. This contract with our local AAA, it's something that the City of Liberty, who I'm a part of, has done for over 30 years. And so when I came into it, we had a good understanding of the contracts. I think if I was a person starting out looking to get into that contract, I may look at one RFP or RFQ, their proposal, and think, holy smokes, there's no way I can fill all of this out. They ask for, if you guys have worked with any governmental agencies, they have to have so many different papers and things signed by different people within the organization. And since we're a city, things have to go to city council, and there's such a long waiting period. But our local AAA not only reimburses us for the cost of the meal, they recognize that there's an administrative portion to run a program like this. And so we get kickback for all those people that we sign up on the Older American Act Title D3 funds. We get more than what the meal cost, and they pay us, for the administrative side of it. They pay us for when we do the assessments on people. We get to start going back into their homes next month. That was temporary. That's been halted for over 3 years now with COVID, but really getting eyes on someone and getting a trained assessor in someone's home. And then they also pay us because they know that this program offers a great opportunity for older adults, but everyone to volunteer in their own community. And I won't go off on my tangent of how important the program has been for the volunteers, which was something I also, when I first started this role, it's great for the recipients. That's a no-brainer, but holy smokes, what it gives to these volunteers to have the connections with the recipients and know that the recipients are counting on them. It's a great volunteer opportunity for people to deliver these meals over their lunch break. Takes about an hour, but our AAA recognizes that we're offering that service to the community as well. So for every meal we deliver for a person on their funding source, the program is getting even a little bit more money back on that. So I would say that digging into these different funding sources, yeah, not gonna lie, it can be daunting. Filling out those grants can be a lot of work. I always think the first time you kind of apply for one is the hardest, and then you end up taking good notes and knowing who holds your certificate of insurance and different things within your organization, and then it just gets easier and easier every year. But I would encourage someone to reach out to their local AAA or whoever administers those funds for them, and explain to them, your staffing levels and what you would hope to do, and then just building that relationship with the AAA. Ours is, most of the time, if I'm emailing or talking with the AAA people, it's about an invoice or a budget, and I'm sending them our monthly numbers, and they're asking for this part of the grant and this part of the grant, and that's all the boring stuff. So share your success stories with those people too. We try to share our success stories in just an annual letter to our donors, but hadn't really thought about the people that give us a huge chunk of money with the grants. And while we don't have to formally share those with them, it's not part of our required reports that they ask for. They're humans too, and they're in their line of work to help people. They just do it differently than we do. They do it by giving us the money to keep helping people, and we are more boots on the ground. But be sure to just tell your story of all the great things that you are doing, and share that story far and wide.
You've talked about a couple of things that you've realized have really made a difference in your work. What is one thing that you wish you would have known before you began in your role?
I would say, just back to and it came very naturally for me, but the human interactions and the extra phone calls. I feel like every one of my Meals on Wheels recipients that I talk to is just like a grandma or a grandpa, and they're just so genuinely interested in other people, and maybe especially people of the younger generation. And I would say, starting in my role, I had no idea how much it would give to me just on a personal level. And so, while yes, we have to get the meals out, we have to have the paperwork in order, we have to have volunteers to deliver these meals. At the end of the day, the meals are important, but that connection that we're providing, and whether they may not be overly friendly with the volunteers, but they know they can call up to our line here at the office and talk for 20-30 minutes. And believe me, they do. But just to be prepared for that, and how much of an impact that was going to make, and be sure to like I was just telling everyone else to take my own advice and share that story, and really get that try to get it into words. It's hard to put into words when it's something that's so meaningful for you. But when you're talking to just community members, potential donors, potential donor organizations, just really figuring out how to take some of those stories and give them those stories, instead of just the demographic information and how many meals you delivered and all of that stuff.
What is one fun or interesting fact about you?
I was going to say, and I don't know when this will air. Today it's August 3rd. Look at me acting like I'm a movie star. But I have baby number 2 that is due in 4 weeks. So I have a little boy at home, which you can see his photos behind me. They're everywhere here in my office. He just turned 2, and baby girl will be here Labor Day weekend. So an exciting time for my family.